Sorry, apologies, I wasn't using my microphone, so welcome everybody. Sorry.
I was going to bring it up under members' reports, yeah, but I have read it and got through it. But yes, there's some questions I want to ask on members' reports.
George, is it about the previous minutes?
Yes, on some of it, but it also is the timetable of when you can alter stuff and when you can't alter stuff. But the
Right.
minutes at the moment, I'll do it under members' reports or...
George, can I just clarify that you're happy with the minutes, that I can sign them off?
Not on part 2, no. And it's just something I want to ask on part 1.
Yeah, I was going to say, you need to do that now, George.
Right. On part 1, on the minutes, where it says that the hunt must give at least 1 week's notice, then it was agreed it would give 1 week's notice, not at least.
Okay, yeah, it was 1 week. Yeah, fine.
Yep, all right. And then do you want me to, if you're going on to the minutes of part 2, do you want to bring that in part 2, or am I allowed to bring it up now in part on this part?
Hang on a minute, George, I'm just trying to find your bit where you say at least. Where are we? Is it 303?
303. And also on that,
Hang on. I can only do one thing at a time. Right.
and also on that, as the post is so unreliable, are we allowing the hunt to send the requests by email?
Yeah.
Thank you. Can we put that in the minutes? Whatever.
Right, that can be added.
Well, the hunt meeting hasn't taken place, so there will be an update once the meeting has taken place.
Are you referring to now or when?
Meeting that the council will have with the hunt.
Yes.
Sally and I are having a
Yes,
meeting.
I know that. But in the minutes it says it be at least 1 week.
Yeah, that's
But
been
it's
changed.
yeah,
That's
fine. And I'm asking that you've got to, they've got to let them know, can it be put in there, that you allow them to send by email as post is so unreliable.
Well, yes. Yeah, it's not a problem.
Thank you.
Right. Can you just write that in? I can't see where it in email bit. And the part 2 meeting? Joe?
Aye.
Can't do it, can we? Right, we'll have to wait for the part 2 meeting for
Thank
that
you.
to be. Right, is everybody else happy with them? Just before we go into public participation, Dave Watson would like to have a word.
Is that all right? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
All right, I'll speak up. No, I've been aware that there's been some kind of disquiet about the live streaming and the fact that it goes out live, okay, and also that it is available. It's there in storage on the chapel YouTube channel. Now, because of previous ups and downs and silliness that's been going on over the last year or at least, people are wondering, and I have mentioned this before, about that this has been on, and people were worried that it's going to be kind of come back to the chapel, that it's almost like that we are responsible for it. Okay. Now I accept this because that's something that I've been saying before, and people to watch and remember what you are saying, because it is recorded and people watch it. A lot of people watch it. Now, I don't know if the reason that people watch it is because they're interested, or they just want to see what comedy happens by us appearing like a bunch of clowns at times. So, okay, but I think we have for it to continue. We're quite happy to kind of for it to happen and to be live streamed. But Rob Blackwell, who's our minister, seems to think that we can install another channel, so it would be put in directly into Buckland Brewer Parish Council YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I've got to email them, which I'll do tomorrow, to see if that is possible from the company who installed it. It'll cost the parish council some money, because obviously we're not going to pay for it. Okay. So I just wanted you to be aware of that. Okay. So again, just watch what people say. You know, because it's not been good at times.
Thanks, David.
Okay.
If you're going to email this company, can we put it on next month's agenda so that we can look at voting at that?
There will be a cost. But I got to find out if it's possible first.
Yeah. Thanks, David. Thank you.
Can I just comment on that? In a free democracy, there is always going to be discussion, argument, debate. That's what democracy is all about, all right? So if you've got a good, busy, efficient parish council, that's what you're always going to have. But start saying it's like a load of clowns sometimes, I take exception to that.
Well, I think that's what people think.
Thanks, gents. Public participation. Anybody? Mr. Brown? Hang on one second. I'll get you a microphone.
It's a microphone. Do you want to just clip that onto your top?
What did that? Oh, that clips
Yeah, if you
in.
clip it, you don't have to hold it. So, yeah.
Wait a minute. Oops. Or can you clip it on? I can't see what it does.
Don't hold that back a minute. Sorry, just talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, I can't see down through my glasses.
There you go.
No, you don't need to talk into that.
Eh?
Put that in your pocket. Is it turned on? Joe, is it? I think you might have to turn it off. Put it in your pocket. Hang on.
Oh, in my pocket.
Oh, no.
Oh, right. I thought I had the speaking thing. Sorry.
Yeah, you're fine.
Right. I've come this evening and I read this, and David, this is really the heart of what I've come about, and I didn't know what you was going to say. And I'm glad you've opened the meeting for it. So I will read this, and then you will understand, others will understand as well. And I fully sympathise with you. Now, I have come here this evening as a parishioner of Buckland Brewer, who have lived here all my life. Over this summer, several people have come up to me and asked what is happening in Buckland Brewer, and particularly the parish council. People are watching you on YouTube footage, not just to find out what is happening, but for entertainment value. Up until recently, I've personally not looked at this, but a few months ago, I was urged by someone to look, and when I did, I was astounded and disgusted by what I saw was happening here in the house of the Lord, which can be viewed nationwide by that recording system. It reminded me of a local derby rugby match, with the old ones against the new ones, and the old ones bringing in reinforcements on the touchline to hurl advice at the referee how they should be running the show, which is not what it's all about. Since then, one ex-parish councillor has boasted that he and the present parish councillor have an agenda for the next 12 months, and this will give hell to the present chair of the parish council, which I call very disgusting and despicable agenda to have. When they retired from rugby and hung up their boots, they should have hung up foul play and dirty tricks that they used on the rugby field and not bring them here to use on the village politics. Now, recently there has been some resignations from the parish council, and instead of cooperating on a new member, twice 10 parishioners have signed and demanded a by-election with no cost to them at all. The parish council must pay for this, costing approximately £3,500. I cannot understand why ordinary people can sign a piece of paper and spend £3,500 or more of parishioners' money, and then the elected parish councillors have no say in this matter. I've been advised I'm not allowed to say who signed, but anyone can go into the Torridge District Council and look at these names and tell others. I asked an ex-councillor whose name is not on the list why he was adamant for an election. He replied that the present parish council would only co-opt on one of their own cronies. Now, this ex-councillor has had his democratic election. Now, I congratulate Mr. Jim Donegan, who has won the election with a large majority. This expresses the wish of the parishioners, and I hope everyone will give him the support and respect he deserves. I am concerned that the parish council is paying for this, as it is a large amount in the precept when the parish council is already short of money and inherited a low bank balance. I personally, myself, will be donating to the parish council a sum of money to cover the cost of this election. We also have political problems with the payment of this year's cutting of the grass in the playing field. The parish council has in the past paid for this, but I now understand that this should not have been the case, as this goes against our governance. I also understand that the current playing field treasurer is not paid for the grass cutting. They believe the parish council should pay for this, and the grass cutter, when he presented his invoice to the treasurer, was given short shift and told that he would not be paid by the playing field. I am the chairman of the playing field and was not consulted on this. This is not okay, and I have therefore paid that person for his hard work that he has done during the summer on the playing field. Now, you may ask, why is David Brown taking on the responsibilities of paying for this? The reason is because 3 months ago, Roger Walters came to me and as he needed a new roof on the church, and he has to raise £120,000. I have promised a sum of money to them for this. I have not yet paid this money, and due to the recent happenings regarding the parish council elections, I have decided that the money would be better spent on the parish by paying for the elections and the grass cutting of the playing field. I am not going to put money towards a church roof when I have seen the names on the list calling for election and the behaviour in this chapel, the house of the Lord, and it is in my opinion, I do not want to provide a roof for these hypocrites to walk up the church path and sit in the dry. Therefore, and there is also still some money left, which I will allocate at a later date. When I was born and christened in this chapel 79 years ago, there were about 60 houses in this village. Now there's nearly 300, and we welcome the newcomers to join us and get involved in all things relating to make this a happy and positive place to live. I have seen some people come and try to be popular by running with the fox, hunting with the hounds, and now they join the saboteurs. This is very unsettling and non-productive. Now, as a farmer, sowing seeds, I know tonight some of these seeds will fall on stony ground, some on poor soil, but I hope tonight that most will fall on good soil so that the parish council can be more open, transparent, and work for the community to the benefit of the parish. Now, I would like to thank the parish council for agreeing to put the playing field under its umbrella as a trustee. I know that in the future this will mean that the playing field will be reserved for generations to come for the length of the remaining terms of lease. This is not a transfer of ownership. There is a playing field AGM scheduled for Tuesday the 26th of November in this chapel, and everyone is welcome. As chairman and trustee, I am planning that the existing 3 trustees will be present to hand over to the parish council the trusteeship, and I hope that an invitation will be sent to Mr. George Haywood, the landowner, so he will join us and give his blessings. Thank you. Oh, sorry. Where shall I go?
All right. Thank you, David.
Can I just ask,
hang on.
Mr. Brown?
No, hang on.
Could I just ask
no,
Mr.
no,
Brown?
no, not at the moment.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anybody else that would like? Thank you.
All I want to say is, I wholeheartedly agree about what a waste of money it was for the election, and the parish councillors are now going to have to pay for it. Apart from that, I've got some posters that I hope you will agree I can put on the field. And if you'd like to spread those along, there's not enough for everybody, but I'd like to put them on the field gate if I'm permitted to. Thank you.
Is this for the Playing Field
Yes.
Association?
Yes.
That's got to go to, sorry Keith, this has got to go to the Playing Field Association. I do believe the secretary sat at the back of the church at the moment.
Well, does everybody agree apart
Oh,
from that?
I'm sure they will, but it will be...
There's another one on the back, there's a different one on the back.
Oh,
Can we have a look anyway?
can we have a look? Yeah. Different one on the back. Right, pass them on.
Do you want me to declare an interest?
No. You're just looking at poo posters. They're good. I like it. Catchy.
Could we have some of them on Funnel Head as well?
Oh, yeah.
But it says playing fields on it.
Yeah, but no,
Yeah.
but just
No,
thinking.
that's good. That's really good. Yeah, no, it's really good. If you hand them to the secretary at the back, I'm sure she will. Well, you're on the committee as well anyway, aren't you? Thank you, Keith. Does anybody else have any? Clive? No? Nothing to add tonight? All been said?
Having raised a certain subject at the last meeting, I wasn't quite expecting that.
No. Yeah, it's sort of taken everybody's, wind out of their sails, I think. It's, yeah.
I think George wanted to respond.
No. Clerk's report, please.
Okay. Well, I was waiting for quite a few responses, so I will send this correspondence list over to councillors after this meeting, but most of the things you know about anyway, and there's others that will come up on the agenda in any case. Right, one thing, the Southwood Meadows sign, it was mentioned that nobody knows where Cross Park is. Torridge have agreed to put a leading to sign on Southwood Meadows. I don't know the timescale for that, but it will happen.
Sorry, can I ask a question while you're talking about Cross Park? Is there one part of it that's going to be called Lower Greenings, isn't there? We had a washing machine delivered to them to us the other day. Very nice it was too, but we didn't keep it, obviously, because it was meant for Lower Greenings, and there seems to be, obviously, there's a Greenings Road, the Greenings, and now Lower Greenings, that we're ending up getting.
I'm getting Lower Greenings parcels.
Are you?
A lady had a parcel from number 19, and it came to me. But
There is confusion, definitely, with the names.
I don't recall Lower Greenings coming up as a planning application.
So I think Lower Greenings is through Orley Close, isn't it?
It is. That's Lower Greenings.
The other thing, just thinking about Abbots. No, what is it called?
Lower Abbots?
Lower Abbot, this one here.
No,
Not
that's
Lower
Crossways.
Abbot, Cross Park.
Cross
Are they
Park.
going to put two signs up then? Because there's one at the entrance and then where it turns left, because they all keep going straight onto the cul-de-sac and turning around.
They do.
And you see that all the time, don't they?
Well, they were going to go out and have a look at the signage generally, because I said
Right.
the whole thing is causing lots of
It is causing chaos.
confusion.
I'm just wondering if maybe a few of us, or we will all go out and have a look at the signage and work out where we need sign, because there is definitely confusion.
Every chap, and he said that when he looks on his sat nav, it's just fields, so it's not actually on the sat nav yet. So that's confusion. He's trying to do it from memory. Do you know what I mean? Of when he's been there before, it's just fields at the moment. Outdatable.
Where is Lower Greenings?
It's the bit where you go through past the pub on your right, so you turned into Orley Close, and that's going to be called Lower Greenings.
It's the second part.
The second phase. Second phase of Alison Holmes. Down into Orley Close. No, it's not Orley Close. Yeah.
Well, it would be Brian's.
There's also Hill Park as well. At the bottom, the new bit down New Hill Park, that one there is just fields on the sat nav. So the
Yeah, but this isn't about the sat nav. This is about what the roads have been called, because we've now got Lower Greenings, the Greenings, and Greenings Road. So, like I said, we ended up with a brand new washing machine the other day. Very nice it is too. Oh no, we did give it back. And yeah, so they had to put this washing machine back on the line.
Yeah, of course.
Just wondering if it would be worth, I mean, is Lower Greenings Road going to be the name of it, or is it going to be changed like Foxglove View was changed to Cross Park, which is all very confusing as well?
Well, that's what I mean. I don't remember there ever being a planning application to, or a consultation with the council for a name for that.
Well, that's what they're calling it, because people have moved in there and they quite obviously had ordered something and they called themselves Lower Greenings.
I'll query it with planning.
Can we, yeah, if we can, and then
Yeah.
maybe we look at signs, because I know for a fact that exactly what Sally has just said, they go all the way to the end of Southwood Meadows and then realise that it's a cul-de-sac, have to reverse all the way back. And the poor person that lives on the corner of Southwood, you know, she's had they have had their lawn driven over and everything else, where people have reversed back and gone around, you know, so it needs a definite sign.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was the reason I raised it with them in the first place. I think they've had damage to their garden about 4 times now.
Yeah.
So,
Joe.
not good.
Sorry,
No, it's
I
fine.
interjected there.
Okay, also at Torridge, I'm waiting to hear from the Economic Development team. I've asked for some information about industrial units. There's a rough sleeping count to be undertaken in November. That's right across the country. That's an annual thing. I don't think we have any to report, so I'm going to send back a nil return unless anyone tells me any different. I've sent a thank you to the elections team for facilitating the election last week. Devon County Council, I've contacted Highways. There's quite a few queries about roads generally, about the Orley Hill passing place, when that's going to be done, when the assessment is going to be done for another vehicle activated sign. That's at the bottom there by Hill Park. It's not a given that we have to install one, but we can't do anything unless we have this assessment done. It was also flagged that the welcome signs are looking in a poor state of repair, but apparently they are very good. So we're not going to get new signs anytime soon. And I've also asked whether Highways can help in any way with no vehicle or no unauthorised vehicle access signs on the moor, and potentially installing boulders or something to prevent cars driving onto it. So there are quite a few queries that are still outstanding there that have had to be referred to other people. Also, Devon, they've just sent out the winter information to snow wardens, so hopefully that's been received this week. Yeah.
Yes, I got
Right.
that. Yep. I should be going out and doing the salt bins, check all that.
Right, great, thank you. And I think, the only other things are fireworks. The insurance company are fine with the firework event. That's all cleared. I've done the risk assessment. Just a very quick mention about the fireworks. The type of fireworks we've ordered are the sort of barrage type. They don't fire any debris or anything into the air. So there were some comments last year that people were finding rockets in their garden. The rockets must have been fired by their neighbours. They weren't anything to do with the parish council ones. These just fire charges into the air. So it's just literally the chemicals and nothing else. No other debris leaves the ground.
Joe, can we just clarify that we have moved?
Yeah, and that's what I was just going to say. We have moved the location, so I will put a notice out. We are going to be back to the amenity field and Buckland Brewer Hall.
I mean, before it was the trouble is that field now is surrounded on all sides by hoses.
It's fine though.
Is that all right?
Yeah. Because of those types of fireworks, the distance that you have to be away from them is not as far as if you're sending rockets up anyway. I mean, we have got ample space. We have got it more than 3 times the space that we need all the way around the field. So it is absolutely fine. We have got ample space to do that. And I've also given notice to the air ambulance as well. They will be out of action just for a couple of hours.
Also, last year we had a lot of comment that people weren't informed there was going to be bangs on firework night all the way around, and cats and dogs, and that was disturbed. Do we ought to put something on Facebook or whatever you do?
It's already gone out there.
It's always gone out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
everywhere.
that was one of the reasons we were going to do it up in the playing field, because it was a little bit further out. But logistically, at the moment, it just wasn't going to play ball this year.
As long as people know.
Yeah. No, it will be put out there again. Joe will update the Facebook.
It doesn't affect the air ambulance, does it?
Only for an hour or 2 hours.
They've been
You've done
notified.
that? Okay.
Yeah. That's it, thank you.
Right, thanks, Joe. Well, welcome Jim Donegan to the crew. I should have said this a long time ago, but as we've got to your declaration of acceptance of office, congratulations. It was a massive majority that you got voted in on. The parish did speak. I've got to get you to sign some paperwork. Basically, this is your declaration of acceptance of office, your dispensation request.
I've seen them electronically, so I know what I'm signing.
Okay, those two. And the last one is the Buckland Brewer Parish Council Civility and Respect Code. And I'm sure you will abide by that, Jim. Just there. Do you want to read it?
I've read it, yeah.
You've read it. You're ahead of everyone. You're ahead of the game.
Yeah, I didn't sign it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to ask any one of us. Yeah, that's all right. 318, proposal to highlight community heroes and how they could be acknowledged. It's got my initials after this, guys, but it wasn't me that had it put on here. Anybody got any thoughts on that, Sally? I swung into that one nicely.
Dear God, dear. I think this is just to obviously acknowledge things that people are doing over and above in the parish, like signs and just extra stuff, really. I sort of thought, well, maybe each month, depends what the clerk and everybody else thinks, whether we should vote on this, that we should have on the agenda every month is a shout out for parishioners who've gone over, above and beyond for this month since the last meeting. And I'm just wondering whether it's something we could put on the agenda.
In big cities, when they got someone who's been like a mayor or something for, you know, done a lot of work, they usually erect a statue.
Well. Any names in the hat for that one, I wonder?
Did you know that
Oh, here we go.
Anybody, and there needs to be 10 signatures, but anybody can nominate anyone for any valid reason to have something like an MBE, but it needs 10 signatures, but it can be done. I mean, if somebody's really gone above and beyond, it doesn't have to come from your workplace or because you're
right.
In the military. It can be,
Yeah.
and that, I think there could be some candidates for
We're
that.
going to so we've started at just giving them a shout out to having a statue, and we're right on to the MBEs now.
Let's aim big.
So next bid will be in knighthood. So it's any other offers on the table.
I just think that we don't give enough credit to people anymore, and we don't give enough praise to people. So that's me said.
I personally think that there are a lot of unsung heroes in this village. There's two sat in front of me over there that dawdle all out and do stuff in this village, don't get asked to do it, but they do it. Mr. and Mrs. Godby being two people who are sat here tonight who have done an amazing display of the Buckland Brewer coming in and out of the what are they called? Floral displays. I've seen your little notices on all of them, that they've all got bulbs in there, and they're going to look lovely come spring. And they haven't asked me to say that. That's not the reason they're here. And I do feel that we do have people in this parish that go out and get on with things, and they don't want praise and lots of adoration. They just get on with it. And could we be opening the floodgates, if you like, of if we praise one person 1 month, could somebody else have their nose put out of joint because they feel that they've done something themselves? I don't know. That's my personal. George, got any opinions on this?
As long as people are acknowledged for what they do, you know. I mean, I don't know why you asked me specifically, but
No, I'm working my way along.
All right, it's a conundrum.
It's a conundrum. Don't they have that in Countdown? Anybody else got any? Trevor? Oh, sorry. Yes, go on. Yes, sorry. Microphone.
Just for point of clarification, so how would it? How would it be decided? Who would decide who would be the person for that month? Would it be one of the council or somebody from the public nominating, or how? What's your idea on that? Because I think if it was a how should I say, a more inclusive process where others in the parish were involved in it, that might get around a little bit the fact that you're putting people's nose out of joint for not being acknowledged. It's not then something coming totally from the council.
So we asked for nominations from the public. We could put that out on Facebook, that
Some kind of
people,
A box in the shop.
Some
A
kind,
box in the
some
shop?
kind of, or social media, you know, something that would make it
hmm,
more participatory, if you will.
beautifully said. Trevor, have you got any views on this? No?
No, not really.
No? Okay. Kate? Apart from the MBEs?
Apart from the
That was a little bit-
I just think it is the making sure we include everybody, because how are we going to know? Because some people do it very quietly, don't they?
They do. That is
don't
my
necessarily know. I
that
think
is
it's
my
a nice
concern.
idea.
It's a nice
As long as-
idea. I agree.
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
But my only concern is that yes, if we mention one person, there'll be
Yeah.
somebody that has their.
It's a bit of a slippery slope, I
It
think.
is.
I think well worth staying away.
Right. Oh, would you like to say something?
Well, only that if you just wanted to do something at the annual meeting, you could perhaps just do a sort of something for really big achievements during the year. That might be a nice way of marking it.
Yeah, or a bit of maybe 10 names that somebody's gone beyond and, you know, or something like that. Open for discussion.
Everybody that's done whatever.
Do you know, I'm liking your idea, yes. Thank you, everybody.
You can soon open a Gorgon's knot.
But what's that?
You can soon open a Gorgon's knot.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to propose it?
I
or
can propose it, and I'm not fussed either way. But just something, it's just something that just thought, you know.
does anybody want to second this?
Thanks.
Oh, Sal, I left you open for
You
that
did,
one.
didn't you? Set me up for that one.
I think we'll shelve that for now. I'm not deferring it, I'm shelving it. Right. Over to you, Councillor Watson, who's going to give an update from the DALC and AGM. Can you use your microphone as well?
It is something that happens every year, and it's down at Exeter Racecourse, and they put on food, which is always an assignment for me, anyway. It is well worth going, actually, and I urge people to go. I mean, you know, I've been for several years now, and it's good to catch up with various people that you meet, really. Several years, the district councils have been present, so you can talk to them. They weren't this year, but there was about hundreds of people from Devon County Council, so I don't know how the council was performing that day, because everybody was down at Exeter Racecourse. So you could talk to highways and everybody, really, which is really good. The leader and the chief executive were there, and they talked. They gave a talk. And they also did a workshop afterwards. I didn't go to that. I went to something else. So it's a bit of kind of, things around the finance and to be, so you had to vote. So only one person can vote from each council. Most councils, parish and town councils were present. There was a lot of people there. I don't think there was many that are part of DALC, which is Devon Association of Local Councils. And, most people were there. And it was really, in that part, it's really interesting because you can get to talk to anybody else. I used to be on the county committee until they abolished it, which I did moan last year about that, but never mind. Didn't get anywhere. Because I think sometimes it is good to kind of talk to similar councils, because there's still a larger councils meeting. So that's all the big councils, the big town councils and things like that do meet together. And something I was wondering is whether we tried to kind of talk to our local surrounding parish councils, and you could find that we all got kind of similar difficulties. So that's something to think about, or not.
Or not.
Or not. But it could be because it's that flow of information of ideas of what works and what doesn't work. But that doesn't say, you know, because some places it would work, sometimes it wouldn't. So there's that. So the workshops that I went to, one was about involving young people in the work of to get in the booze for parish councils, and generally gaining the views of young people in the community. And now one parish council has been going into the local primary school and talking to them and explaining to them, you know, basically what parish councils are, what they do. And I think that, because I think that obviously ticks a box somewhere in the curriculum, but it would be quite interesting to do, really. And if we wanted to do that here, we could. I've been one of the governors. I could talk to people.
I think secondary schools need it as well. I think take it more on board.
Yeah, we'll go on to that one, because another one, Oakhampton, I've got a youth council. There's about a dozen or so. They're all girls, and for some reason they've not managed to entice any boys to join them. But it is only just started. So in the way that they approached that was to go to the local, the local kind of secondary schools and colleges and things like that. And one young lady was kind of, they asked, why did you want to do that? She said, it's a stepping stone, she said. So she said, I'm going off to university to read politics. So that could be a future MP at some stage. But you know what I mean? So it goes both ways, doesn't it? You know, people get the views of what is kind of going on for young people, and which sometimes is difficult to kind of gauge at times. And it's also something for them, which it's got to be for both groups, isn't it, really? So that's something to think about, you know. I think, and it seems like that, you know, that it has just started, and it'd be interesting to see how that develops. But if we wanted to kind of do something, you know, of actually going into primary school and what they went in and the school let them do it in an assembly of talking about what actually parish councils do. So that was a really good workshop. I went to another one, but I can't remember what it was now.
Is that good?
Is that before or after lunch?
Probably after lunch.
I'll tell you my
There was no
experience.
free food at that one.
I'll tell you my experience at the doctor's the other day, but never mind. Not now.
Maybe not now.
But
Not
so,
on the agenda.
not on the agenda. So I've got the report here, which people can look at.
Brilliant.
And there, other people there were people like Wickstead. That's not who we got to do the adult fitness centre, is it? No, but there's always somebody trying to sell you kind of.
Is that play stuff? Is it? Is that play stuff? Is it?
Yeah, play stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at that.
Okay, there's loads of stuff there, and things like Parish Online is what we used to be signed up for, but we didn't do anything with that. And there's the police were there, police and crime are putting the commissioner, trying to put things together for a plan.
Nice.
I'll let you look at all this. All right, but there's it is well worth going. So I urge you next year. I don't want to go on my own.
You went all on his own.
I emptied my bag, right, a free bag, and I found my flapjack that I picked up to eat, but failed to eat it. So, but no, it is well worth going. And I urge you to go this year.
We might lay on a bus.
Well, I don't think you're going to pay. Okay, so that's that.
Thank you, Dave. What would we do without you?
Quite a lot.
Half-yearly financial update. Bear with me, everybody, on this, please. I wrote it down. It was easier. Thanks, Joe. It is important that the Parish Council gives updates to parishioners with regards to how their money is being spent. As you know, you don't need to look at that just yet. You can turn around, thank you. I will dictate to you when you can turn around. Okay. Right. I will say, I will wave an arm, all right? Yeah, it is important, sorry. Their money is spent. As you know, May 2023 marked the start of a new 4-year council term, and several of us were elected as councillors for the first time. This meant that we had to understand the finances, governance and everyday spending of the parish council in order to do the job we'd been elected to do. Buckland Brewer Parish is very fortunate to have assets that generate annual income. For example, rental from a telecom mast at Thornhill Head Moor, parish-owned fields and allotments, and some additional income from wayleaves. These assets supplement the precept, which is collected from parishioners via the council tax. The precept had been kept unchanged for several years. This was done with good intentions, but it had not kept pace with the rising running costs. The cost of running the parish council is quite substantial, and all councils, irrespective of size, have legal obligations which they must uphold, and administration typically gets more complicated every year. Costs also increase annually due to inflation and other external factors. As everybody will be aware, the difficult decision was made to raise the precept this year, and many people may not understand the reasons why. I think it is important as parish councillors that we try and explain this to you and be as transparent as possible. 2021 to 22 was reported as being quite a healthy year. However, 15,000 had been transferred into the general account from the Thornhill Head Moor account to cover the cost of a project relating to industrial units, and this inflated the year-end position to report a surplus of 19,000, when in fact the actual surplus was only 4,000. The transfer has been reversed back in 2024, as this should not have happened. The following year, 22 to 23, the council's general account made a loss of £13,500 due to overspending, and this was despite transferring 20,000 from savings to cover expenses. Grants had continued to be made to organisations with money in the bank and therefore able to cover their own running costs. When we were elected, all the council's reserves had been depleted. Although there is money in the bank, the minimum amount of reserves that must be held is £11,150, as this sum covers air ambulance funding, deposits and potential election expenses. To cover all contingency costs such as winter salt spreading, reserves must be increased to around £20,000. The half-yearly budget report is displayed on the screen. You can look now. We are forecasting a surplus of 12,000 at the year end before taking reserves into consideration. This is an estimation or projection, okay, so that won't be the exact figure. I would like to highlight a few more topics relating to finance, and interestingly, Mr. Brown covered it in what he said. With regard to the election cost, the 2023 election cost almost £2,000, as there was already an election occurring on this date, making it cheaper. And we expect a bill for around £3,300 for last week's election. This was the second time a by-election had been requested this year. The first was avoided as only one candidate stood in June. There is a cost-free co-option process which can be managed entirely in-house, and the outcome for the parish would have been exactly the same. I personally am sad and disappointed that some former councillors and others with very close connections to the PC have been the ones to take the lead on this campaign, particularly knowing that their actions would impact negatively on the council financially. Going forward, the parish cannot afford to spend nearly £3,500 every time a councillor resigns if we want to contain costs and use public money to benefit the whole community. Another issue during this year was that a significant amount of administrative time had been taken up with the internal unfounded complaints and false allegations. This has been extremely distressing for those affected, and it has cost the council financially and could have been very damaging to the parish council's reputation. Significant time and money has been spent on dealing with these complaints, which has benefited nobody. Every year, the PC undergoes an external audit, and this has been delayed this year due to a spurious complaint. Since the clerk has kept a senior compliance manager informed of the situation, late submission penalties have been waived so far. However, this is a possibility that the council will still be fined at the end of the process for non-compliance. Further on to that, unfortunately, there has been a water leak from the pipe in the allotment and Black Horse Field last year, and this has now cost the council £750, and it seems likely that the water was leaking for far longer than was first thought. A request for emergency financial support has been submitted to the water company, but we have been informed it would probably be unsuccessful. I don't want everything to be negative that I've just read out. So on a positive note, as Joe has already said, we have decided to sponsor a firework night following requests from parishioners and to hold a community event again this year. This was popular last year and well attended, and we look forward to welcoming as many people as possible on the 2nd of November. Obviously, David Brown covered this actually when he spoke, but the playing field will be coming under the umbrella of the parish council. This will help to ensure that the field will continue to be supported for the community for many years to come. The playing field committee will still exist and will be the custodian of the field for the remainder of the lease. To put it in simpler terms, the parish council will be there as a safety net by acting as a trustee to the playing field association. Although I might sound like Scrooge at Christmas, we are very mindful of the need to run a tight ship financially so that going forward we can start planning to improve services within the parish for everyone. Okay? No, I'm fine. So basically, we have got up there what we are reserved, the minimum reserves will be by the end of the year. That has taken us a year to basically reclaim the 11,150, so we are sort of back in there again. Is there anything you want to add to that, Joe? You're better at maths than me.
Well, only that with regard to the reserves, I was going to raise this on payments, but I've discovered there is an extra savings account that looks like it was opened years ago, and what I would suggest we do is we separate the Thornhill Head and general account savings and actually transfer the money relating to reserves into that as soon as possible. So I'll put that onto the agenda next meeting so that you can decide whether or not that's...
So how much is in that, did you say? How much?
There's another savings account that's got a nil balance. It's never ever been used.
Right.
So I think it would be prudent just to separate the general funds from the Thornhill Head funds
Yeah,
for
so I think
savings
that's
as well,
confusing.
and have that as a reserves account.
Has anybody got anything to say, George?
Yes. I should declare an interest on this, but I will mention it. You mentioned the parish council would be a trustee of the playing field. Did you mean to say that?
No, I didn't probably mean to say it as being a trustee, actually, no. It's basically
Because you can't, a group can't be a trustee.
No, I know. It will be people from...
I am declaring
councillors.
interest for anybody who
No,
didn't know.
that's fine, George, just to clarify. No, you're absolutely right. It will be councillors, a couple of councillors that will become trustees.
The trusteeship for parish councils is not within the Playing Field Association. It's just as an umbrella over the Playing Field Association. So as the chair said, it's a safety net. It's not being a trustee within the association.
But you mentioned two again. We can be trustees. Sorry.
I would imagine there will be councillors that will volunteer to become trustees of the playing field.
Oh, well, that's nothing to do with me. But
No.
yeah, yes.
Anybody got
Thank
anything
you.
else to say? No?
Nicely put.
Thank you.
That the chart there, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's good to see it in black and white as well, isn't it, in front of you?
Did we get a copy of it?
Of what? My report?
Yeah.
It'll be in the minutes.
Lovely.
Why? Oh, right.
Well, it's come out of the blue, so and it's nice to sit and...
Yes, no, it will be added to the minutes.
I'll send everything to councillors after this meeting.
Yeah. Okay. Where were we? Gone and lost the agenda.
Members' reports.
Yes, members' reports. Starting with you, Trevor.
Yeah. If all members take one of these leaflets, you'll see what I'm about to propose. There's a it's the new county-wide proposals to improve public transport in rural areas. Well, I'll read out what we got here. It's well over 10 years since Buckland Brewer lost its daily 372 bus service to Bideford and Barnstable. Perhaps there is some hope on the horizon that a daily service may return with the publication of a new transport plan for the county between 2025 and 2050. A public consultation has been launched. The deadline for completing an online questionnaire is 11:50 on Saturday, the 30th of November. The first disappointing aspect of the 79-page document is that rural areas, which make up half of Devon's population, is a small part of a 10-page section devoted to rural Devon and market coastal towns. What did catch my eye was an inspiration to provide minimum service levels for settlements of 500 people or more. New cross-country services and extending operating hours in all improving opportunities to travel by public transport. The document is very upbeat, but offers few solutions other than an injection of money into our public transport system. To view the proposals, you can go, that's on here, go to Devon County Council website and type in, have your say. Then scroll down to Devon and Torbay Local Transport Plan 4. Click into this page and it will not only give you not only the draft proposals but the questionnaire as well. Now, I would propose that, seeing it's November, that it's got to be in by, we have this on the agenda at the next meeting. You can take this away and you can see how you can get onto the plan on the website then and study it before the next meeting. Thank you.
sound like a good idea today.
Mm?
Sounds like a good idea today.
Yeah, yeah. Joe, can this be added to the agenda next month?
I sent this to all councillors on the 2nd of October, and there is a webinar actually on the 8th of November if anybody wants to go to it, which explains it properly.
Can we put something about this on Facebook so we can get
Well,
public members?
yeah.
Sorry, 18th of November, I should say. One was yesterday and one's on the 18th of November.
I'm just...
Sorry, this could go onto our Facebook page as well, so it gets out to more members.
More people who sign at the back.
Yeah, precisely.
When you say wait Facebook page, I'm a bit confused. Buckland Brewer Parish Council website, is that your Facebook page
No.
or is that another one?
No. Facebook isn't our website, just it's Facebook.
Yes.
So there's a Facebook group that is basically just for parish council, for people to join, and it will be just parish council news. But this can go on the website and on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
But the Facebook page is fairly instant. People will click straight
Yeah.
into it.
So the website, actually, is that working now? I've been told all the time that it's fine. So that's going to go on
Did my
Facebook.
non-verbal communication tell you
Yeah.
everything you needed?
So that's going on Facebook, the Parish Council, Buckland Brewer Facebook page.
This will go. We've got 200 members on there.
Yeah. So is it going to go into the open Facebook page as well or not?
Do both, can we?
Go to the community
It
page.
can go into the community page as well, George. They've got 900 people in there, so why not? But let's just spread it far and wide and then let's get the signatures. Is that all right, Trevor?
Yeah, because like I say, more the merrier.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
If we miss out, you know, it's too late.
Yeah, no, I agree.
We get in and get our opinions across.
Absolutely. Thank you, Trevor. George?
Yes, just to say that ongoing on the Thornhead Moor, I'll let Mr. The new Donegal, if he wanted to take that.
Jim?
Jim, sorry, I do apologise. And I've been updated from Brown & Co, who are giving us free advice from the government for we can go on and get grants or things from the government once they confirm what is available. Further to our call earlier this morning, I should like to confirm that we have registered the business details of Buckland Brewer Parish Council SBI number, which you've got to have to be able to do it, and it's for the DEFRA-funded Future Farmer Resilience Service to be delivered by Brown & Co. So we've got free advice coming on, any grants and anything that we can do out there to increase the income from parish, for Buckland Brewer Parish Council. So that is still ongoing.
Brilliant.
So the deadline now there is no deadline on it now. We've got accepted, and it all depended on whether the SBI number was going to be accepted by DEFRA. But I've got I can pass these around of what we had, so we know exactly how far we are. So.
Thank you, George.
Thank you.
You want some more?
Enough? You got enough?
Okay.
Hang on, a few more.
Yeah.
While you're twiddling around.
Like I said, regarding the salt bins, I've been contacted, as Joe said, by Devon County Council's snow warden department, as I'm still the snow warden for the parish council. It was designated 5-6 years ago. We're the only parish, just rephrase and for everybody to know, we are the only parish in the UK that actual fact organise salt spreading when the local council leave us out and don't get to us for. We've got to have 3 to 5 days of solid ice or snow, ice or freezing before they come and salt the place. So we as a parish council many years ago decided to use like an agriculture spreader, lime spreader, and we supply, we get free salt from the Devon County Council. We're allowed 5 tonne a year free, and then when we run that down, I keep ringing them up and getting them some more. It's still getting free, whatever. And so, what we pay is as the chair alluded to earlier, we pay so much an hour run from the local agriculture contractor. So I was informed that I could carry on this year to do it. But if it's a complete drain, I will say this again, I've said it once, if it's a complete drain on our resources, being the only parish council that does it, we don't have to do it. But we can get the villagers and the parishioners out, going to work every day.
We're in credit though, aren't we? We didn't use it last year, did we?
No, no. And I'm very mean when I send anybody out.
Good.
Yeah.
That's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
Spare bags anyway. We usually have a bag that we can spread on our bit of the hill for other people.
Yes, we do have bags, but we've got salt bins around. We did put a few bags around that we had spare one year, put it out because we had to move from the storage premises down at Mr. Dorinsky's site, who kindly stored it when that was moved on. And strangely enough, every bag disappeared that we put out and we never knew where it went.
I'll tell you where one is.
No.
It was used.
Oh, right, that's fine, yeah. So, right. I had a person ring me just saying, commenting that the entrance sometimes is getting too frequently blocked at the beginning of Northwood Lane, and they can't get in there with their small vans or lorries or whatever, because the people who own fields that come off Northwood Lane, that's used to be called Goodgy Lane or whatever, are entitled to use it with their vehicles and vans, and there's someone got a little business down there anyway, 2 or 3 people, they can't get down there. So, but I don't know what we can do about it unless, we don't want yellow lines, but the first square for the car park on the corner on there, which goes against Northwood Lane, people do park outside the square. But I'll just bring it up that that lane is sometimes blocked. Okay. You wouldn't let me respond to Mr. Brown there, but he alluded to 2 rugby players. I don't know who the other one is, but I used to be a rugby player, and I'm a councillor on here, and I can assure you I have never uttered those words that he said. Now, he's gone. We won't debate the matter, whatever. You didn't let me answer it, so I am saying categorically, if he's referring to me, and he should have stayed and said it, but I have never or not said that I was going to create hell amongst the parish council. I've been on this parish council now for 14 years, and I've done everything I can to help. So if that insinuation is straight, then let him come and put it eyeball to eyeball.
And I used to play rugby as well, George.
Thank you, sir.
So did I.
Well
So
done.
actually, it's leaving it quite open, really, to a few of us.
I never realised that.
Yes.
But anyway. But,
I played rugby for a long time, so
well done,
yeah.
yeah. But anyway.
Anybody else played rugby? You want to put down?
Netball.
All right, on netball.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kate.
Just one short one, really in support of what Dave said right at the beginning. I was concerned that Dave was concerned about the Methodist YouTube channel, not the viewing of the parish council. So I had asked a member of the church council, not Dave, to just sound out the Methodist church and find out legally where they stood, and then she was going to take that to the Methodist church council.
My head's just blown off.
No, it's just so that then we could clarify with the Methodist church about using their YouTube channel for the parish council.
And I do you know what? Dave came to speak to me, and just to make this sort of open and transparent, is that I really get we're under the banner on YouTube, and if people don't watch this on YouTube, we are under the banner of Buckland Brewer Methodist Church. And if we could have our own channel of Buckland Brewer Parish Council, it stops
That
any
was
confusion.
entirely my concern, which is why I had asked her just to clarify it, and she was going to go back to the council and ask.
Yeah,
but
I did say...
I hadn't spoken
no,
to
no,
Dave.
it's fine, because when Dave came to see me, I said, is there any way we can change channels? And that's what you're trying to sort out now.
So is that what we need to do?
Sorry, I thought I delegated someone else.
No, it came from me.
Oh, right. So, yeah, it is something that we need to discuss at some point.
We'll see. Hopefully they will be.
I do think this is important that more and more parish councils are streaming. I do think streaming is important. I also think it's evidence-based, with my old hat on, and bearing in mind that something that happened this year in this parish council, somebody might not be in a job now had it not been for the YouTube.
But I do think perhaps at some point, when we know where we stand with that, we need to consider how long we keep things for.
Well, yes.
Or how long the Methodist Church are going to keep. It's all.
But there is a way we could actually download it to a USB stick, and we keep the USB stick if that is a possibility, and then if that can be done, and then we can look at. I mean, I know I can record YouTube off and take clips off. That's what I've done when I was doing the investigation this year. So therefore, I can't see why we can't do that, and then we start under the banner of Buckland Brewer Parish Council. It's something that has to come back to an agenda, though.
Yeah,
Or transfer it. Can it not be transferred across? But yeah.
No, because it's already under the heading.
Right. Okay.
We did have a bit of a discussion about this a while back, didn't we? And wasn't there a suggestion, I don't know whether it's passed or not, that at the end of each term, that all that stuff out there is scrapped? I don't know if it can be done. I don't know what the final outcome was or whatever.
I think the problem is here is not whether we're scrapping whatever we're scrapping. I think it's the fact that, and I really get that this is these guys where they come and worship and everything else, and you know, it's not where I come, but it's where these guys come to, and it has the parish council under the banner of the Methodist Chapel. But if we had our own channel, I don't think there would be a problem. It would just be a room with the banner method.
It's not the use of the room,
it's the heading.
Yeah.
And if we can sort that heading out, it can stay there for forever. But I think that what we've got there at the moment, if we can download it onto a USB and just keep it for prosperity that way.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a parishioner wrote in to us a while back saying that it's when the Methodist Church was set up back in 1820, whenever it was, that there was to be no political meetings in a Methodist church. Over to you, David.
No.
Well, it might have been then, but we did do, because we have, you know, things like doing elections.
Yeah, 21st century now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, I think this is something that needs to go back onto the agenda once Dave knows.
Yeah, Dave will know
What we're
when
doing.
it's been discussed at
Yeah.
the Methodist Chapel.
And you'll just have it pop back on the agenda. Sal?
Couple
Have
of
you finished?
Yes.
Thanks, fine. That's what I'd ask.
We haven't had the meeting with the Hunt yet because we need to meet with the chair because I've been on holiday and also the chair's not available at the moment, but I have tried, so we're hoping before the next
We are
meeting.
going, aren't we?
Yeah. And the other thing is, Thornall Head, I had a report from a parishioner that the access gateway from the parking area onto the moor was overgrown. So that's been trimmed down, and also the gate keeps being left open.
Who trimmed it down?
Keith.
Keith Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
It looks like, you know where that sign was? It looks like somebody's reverse on that. When I went up to Dartmoor, they've got like great big boulders. In front
yeah, that's
of
what
where
we're
the sign
trying to
is.
get.
But it looks like somebody's most probably reversed into it, and that's how it's got damaged, I reckon.
But in regard to the gate, I hope it's okay, but I've purchased some small please close the gate signs to put on that gate. Because apparently it keeps getting left open and there is often livestock on there. And I don't know why it keeps getting left open, but it's not because it's overgrown. And it wasn't that overgrown, to be honest, before it was trimmed. And the other thing, a parishioner who lives near there, she's saying to me that there's the amount of dogs that are going onto the moor who are not picking up their dog poo again, and I keep reporting this. And I really do think we need to deal with this one, and we need to discuss about dog poo bins, whether we put them up there to the cost of the parish or not, or should it be that the dog owners are responsible for their dogs and they should pick up after their dogs and take their dog waste home? Because if you have a dog,
personally,
you're
I think
responsible.
they should be taking it home.
Yeah,
I
I do
don't
as
see
well.
why the parish have to foot the bill for that.
And I think we need to have signs up there with, you know, a fine on as well. And I think that we need to think that about the signs.
Who's going to sort that? Who's going to deal with that if you're going to put
Well, if
signs
somebody's
up there?
seen somebody up there with their dog doing and taking a photograph of it and reports it back to the council, then, you know, then
How are you going to get their address and their telephone number to be able to deal with that?
the police, or the thing is people do know people as well, don't they?
I just don't know how you police it.
But it's the same with the playing field, isn't it? But it's people's discretion, isn't it? And just people's
It's
goodwill.
it's not actually the playing field at the moment. It's also the field next
Graveyard.
door. No,
Graveyard,
and,
yeah.
well, yeah.
Yeah, so people are not being responsible dog owners
It's
and are not picking
only
up
a
their-
minority that
Yeah.
is making it bad for a majority.
But I just think it needs to, if we can have it come back on the agenda about it being...
Regards if somebody could come and pick up
Dog poo?
empty the dog. If we could buy it and then they could have it empty.
I think it's a cost to us, though, isn't it? No. No.
That is what they said they wouldn't know.
I mean, if you take your dog for a walk down Westwood Hoe or somewhere like that, do you not pick it up and take it home with you? Because it's not always...
They have got dog bins down
They-
there. They've got big green bins.
Yeah.
It is a minority. It is definitely a minority.
So,
It'll,
yeah.
sorry, it will never happen, but you could have a register. Be more work for the clerk. If anybody wants to walk their dog on parish council land, they ring in and give their name and address, or telephone number, to walk their dogs.
Oh, that'd be hard to police, wouldn't it? That would be hard to police. We'll have CCTV up before we know, won't we?
We can on solar, couldn't we?
Yeah.
We could. Solar CCTV.
Yeah, just asking.
Anyway, back in the room, everybody. Back in the room.
Just asking Sally, you meeting with Hunt, whatever, and if is it possible for me to come with you as well at the time? Thank you.
That's it.
Oh, sorry. I was waiting for you to carry on. You're stealing my thunder. You've got something on there that I was going to bring up, so I'm going to let you do it. No, I'm finished with talking tonight.
Okay. It's just to say that the Bowden Cross finger post is now more or less upright.
It's fingerless, though.
But
There are a
it's
few
fingerless.
fingers missing.
So
up there.
another agenda item for the next meeting is, do we replace
The fingers.
the fingers or do we leave it as is?
A parishioner wrote to me and she's very upset that there are fingers missing.
So it's just been stolen.
Well, she
away.
didn't comment on the fact that it's now standing upright.
No, she didn't worry about it being
no.
stood upright. It was the fact it had fingers missing.
I thought that was council supposed to replace them.
It wouldn't be us, would it?
No.
It would be highways, wouldn't it?
Could we ask the
Do an
clerk to
online
write
form.
to?
You can do signs on the online form.
Can we as a parish council write to whoever department in Devon County Council or whatever put new
You
fingers on?
Yeah. You know the one at Gorwood Cross, it's been lying down for over 12 months. That's finally up right now.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah,
Only
but I
because-
did
yes,
that.
You did it.
But I did it by the Devon County Council website. You go on the roads and transport, and then there's a link for signs on there, and you can
And
do
they
it.
replace the sign.
Well, no, the sign
And
was there to be
fingers.
put back up, but you need to make a complaint about it, and then maybe they might do it. Well, they email you back and say whether they
Don't
can do
give
it.
up. Don't give up.
Harass.
Okay. All right, okay. The bus shelter roof felt has been replaced, so that's all ticked off.
By yourself
But
and
whoever,
Keith.
whatever,
Yeah.
it's done. And the field committee did their walkabout last Saturday. Very informative. Thank you, Trevor. I think we all learnt a lot that day. And we're just trying to draw up some sort of report at the moment, which we will bring to the council at the next meeting. That's my bit. Thank you.
Joe, can we also, while I think about it, have it put on the agenda? Sally and I are one short for the allotments thing. Maybe that's a job for a new councillor.
Are you volunteering? Do I get to come with an allotment?
No.
Yes.
Well, you think it would, wouldn't you? Members' reports, have you finished?
Yes, thank
Have you got anything? No, first day at school?
I was out for a walk the other night and I went down Orley Close and some of the houses and all that they're all coming up, the social housing and all that. It looks like it's nearly done. It's all coming along.
Oh.
And that's about it.
They are all on the website, on Devon Home Choice, all the social
Yeah, there's a
housing,
lot, isn't there?
5 of them.
But there's like 14 down there and nearly all done.
There are quite a lot of the social housing, isn't there?
I think it's 2 flats, I think,
Yeah.
It looks like, yeah.
and
flats,
3 or 4 houses.
4 flats altogether, and 2 of them are.
Yeah. But yeah, it's all getting busy now and that's about it for me.
Thank you. And David?
Yeah, just to carry on from what Trevor was saying about buses. I did, down at the dog AGM, I kind of had a word with the someone to do with buses. And because I've been aware that there are a few people have left the village because they were worried about what happens when they are unable to drive. And I did kind of wonder if there was anything that they could have done regarding perhaps more regular buses. Because in my view, we just need like a shuttle service to get into Bideford. You don't need to go to Barnstable because there's enough buses. Once you get to Bideford, you can go anywhere. So I think it would be good to kind of write something, fill in that form. Because that is a real problem. Certainly, a couple of people have left the village because they're just worried about what's going to happen when they can't drive. And that,
Just to add to that, Dave, you know when the bus used to go into Bideford, it wasn't in Bideford long enough, quite often, for people to do their shopping
20
before
minutes.
it turned around and come back again.
Yeah.
20
So that
minutes.
needs to be addressed as well.
yeah,
We do.
but I think years ago, I had a kind of reason to go to Bishop's Nympton. I won't tell you why, but there was. But in fact, when I used to I would go to South Malton, and there used to be a van would pick people up. It was actually a post van, and it took passengers as well.
Wow.
So what they did suggest was to talk to community, because it's ring and ride, isn't it? There is a ring and ride that's available here. I don't know if anybody ever uses it or anything. Is whether something could be found in a different way of doing it. Because we ain't going to get a regular bus because they haven't got the money to do it, I don't think. But maybe we ought to look outside of the box about what other alternative ways of providing something to go into, like into Bideford. Because once you get into Bideford, you can go anywhere.
Maybe we could talk to the school, because there's a school bus there. It's not used every single day.
Well, we got two buses now.
You go for it?
Oh, I just had a thought about a car share system, some sort of car share for people that know they're going to Bideford. I don't know.
They do that on Facebook a little bit now.
They do, to be fair. They're on Facebook community page, they advertise that. Right. Back in the room again.
Sorry, can I just say one?
hello.
Yeah, sorry, I do apologise. Yeah. Just to let you all know, there probably will be lots of tractors and trailers over this weekend. This dry, sunny weather to cut my maize, for which I apologise. Then I shall be drilling the wheat and the corn afterwards. So it's going to be a very busy time
Do you want me
between.
to put it up on Facebook for you?
Please, yeah, put it on from Moredio back to here and then around the village. So, sorry.
I better be careful when walking the lanes then. Right. Yeah, don't wash your car, anybody. Don't wash your car and don't walk the lanes. Okay. No planning permissions this month, people, and bank accounts.
Right, well, the bank account is looking pretty healthy at the moment because we have just had the final payment of the precept. So we had £12,500 in. So balances at the moment, we've got a closing cash book balance of the general account of £49,247, 5 pence. We've got a few outstanding cheques and what have you. And we have nearly £1,900 in general funds in the savings account. The restricted funds for Thornhill Head Moor, there's £13,798.79 in the cash book, just one outstanding cheque. And of the savings account, £26,000 of the savings account is belongs to Thornhill Head Moor. So total fund balance there of just under 40,000. Payments out this month since the last meeting. There's payroll, some expenses for roof felt and the toilet hire that is now being moved to VE Day. The electricity bill, that's just our normal bill for landing lights. And there were some purchases of plants for the welcome signs to spruce those up, or bulbs, I should say. The receipts since the last meeting, we've had a few field rents, so £900 in field rents. I've mentioned the precept and the savings account. This, our quarterly interest is £103.93, and that's it.
Thank you, Joe.
Can I just ask on that? It's mentioned dog bins and the dog walkers up on Thornleigh Moor, but the cost of those could be paid for by Thornleigh Moor because it is detrimental.
Oh, no, I agree, but it just means that who would volunteer up and go and empty the blooming things?
What? Yeah, no, we could, whatever, Devon County Council pay for the Thornleigh Moor could pay for that, or do that. It's an idea, that's all.
It's just that who would empty them?
Well, the Devon County Council. Or Torridge, whoever, I don't know.
Well, we'd have to pay for that.
It may be an idea, it's just that, but that, because it's detrimental
Pop it on the agenda.
to the grassland and it would.
Sorry? Yeah,
Oh,
it's
I
already
asked
done.
for it to be.
I asked Torridge County Council, Torridge District Council rather earlier in the year, and I've asked since whether the position has changed since the start of the new financial year, and they say they are not installing any more dog bins for the foreseeable future.
But what about if we put the dog bins?
Yeah.
They won't empty them. They won't empty them.
No, that's
No.
what I mean. Somebody's going to have to empty them.
But I did ask some parishioners that live up there and they just haven't come back to me and said.
I wonder why.
I wouldn't want that job. Voluntary.
Oh, if they won't, yeah, I thought you could pay for whoever
No,
empties
we've had that.
the bins from council,
Yeah,
from council
no,
that
I
they
agree.
could go out there, but sorry, yeah.
Anyway, authorisation of outstanding payments. Ones that you've seen. Can we have a show of hands, please? Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for an hour and a half of your time. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Push that button. It's what? 8:27, 28, 29.